The one that you got.
He holds that thing up and then it's like,
Do you want to start? Should we start? She dropped. So nice to see faces.
let's start louder.
That's why I was asking. Do we need to start? Should we just start, Chad?
She's, I think, coming in.
Looks like she's there, right? She does. She looks so smart.
She could have had you do the meeting, I don't know.
No, I can do it. She's not gonna do it. She doesn't have the agenda.
I can do it if I need to. I just have to step out. So I'm trying to get out. But if not, I would love it if Shelley could lead.
I can do it.
Yeah, let it happen, Captain.
So she can sit down, because I can see her running around trying to find a spot to sit.
Are you riding a bike?
Almost. It has been a very stressful day here, so.
Rhonda's in Texas. In the saloon in the back.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Why is that interesting that I'm in Texas?
It's the background. It says
You're by a saloon.
saloon.
This is
So it's- I can't hear you. Oh, that's great.
I'm so sorry. I'll move to another seat. Here.
Okay, we are going to call this meeting to order. Thank you for coming, the East Valley Institute of Technology Board meeting. Let's start with pledge. Tammy, please lead us in pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, best part of the night, presentations and recognition. Item number 3, student of the month. Hey.
Mrs. Boggs, members of the board, every single month we take the opportunity to recognize the most valuable individuals in our organization. That's our students. And we do it a little bit differently. We ask the building principal to come up and introduce the teacher and let the teacher introduce the student, because obviously the teacher is the individual who spends most time with our students. And we're going to start tonight with our main campus. And I'd like to ask Mr. Fisher, the principal from the main campus, to come up and introduce his staff.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. We're diverging from the norm just a bit this time around. Normally, we present 2 Student of the Months to you, one from our AM session and one from our PM session. This month, we had a third. We have an Adult Student of the Month. It was our first time that we actually had a student submitted who's an adult student for Student of the Month, and we thought we couldn't ignore that and that we should celebrate all the great things they're doing as well. So with that, I'd like to start out with our AM Student of the Month, and I'd like to invite Mr. Moda from our automotive program up to do that.
Hello, my name is Mr. Moda. I am an automotive instructor here, one of 5. And when Dr. Wilson said that I spend a lot of time with my student, I do. I spend more time with this student than I do with my own family. And that is because this student is usually here from 8 to 4 o'clock every day. And some days he wants to come in early. And he said, well, Mr. Moda, what time you get to school? So I'll say about 6:30 when I'm doing my canvas and grading stuff. And he said, oh, I want to come in, and I promise I won't bug you. I said, all right, on that, I'll take you up on that, right? So the student that I have, when he first came into my class, he knew nothing about cars. And he was very insecure, and he had a lot of questions. And when it all started off, he'd stay a couple of minutes late, and then it ended up being what it is now. Today he stayed the whole day, and now he's just a whole different person. He actually helps other students to help them, not only help them work on cars and learn stuff that they're struggling with, but he helps them with their self-esteem and their confidence as well. So I'm very proud to nominate Alex Rodriguez as a Student of the Month for automotive.
Come on up, all the way up, man, all the way up.
Not want to do that.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex.
That's a hard question.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So you're Tempe High, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what grade?
I'm a junior.
Junior? Okay. What do you want to do post-high school? What's your kind of career goal?
Right now, what I have planned is like right after EVIT, I actually want to do collision repair
Okay.
after this, and for AM, and then after the AM class, go to an automotive related job.
Good for you. Good for you. Members of the board, do you have questions for Alex?
Who's with you tonight?
My mom is with me tonight, and my teacher.
Awesome.
Alex, how did you find out about EVIT?
So when I went to Tempe High originally, I heard about EVIT, and when I was signing up for Tempe High, it asked me for a reason to go. I just put EVIT. I didn't think they had automotive or anything like that, something that would interest me. I just put EVIT. But then my sophomore year, when a counselor came in and started talking about EVIT, I saw that they had automotive, and I was really interested into that, so I signed up for it,
Good for you.
and
Good for
now
you.
I'm here.
Good for you.
So Alex, would you recommend EVIT to any of your friends? Do you tell them about it?
Yeah, I
All right.
tell all my friends about it.
Nice,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck with all that.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
And then next, to present our next PM Student of the Month, I have Mr. McNamara from our Fire Science 1 program.
Okay, hi everybody, Jim McNamara, one of the fire instructors. I picked Kaden Elkner as our, who I nominated to be our Student of the Month. All you have to do is spend 5 minutes with Kaden, and you're gonna find out he's one of the most respectful, polite people you're ever gonna meet. And that's a reflection on his family, on how they're bringing him up. He's a great kid. This time of year, sometimes it's getting tough to motivate students to do stuff, except when we go out to play, all right? Grab your gear, we're doing fire attack today. No one has a problem with that. See that wall over there? I want you to take this tool and bust a hole in that wall and get through it. I always tell them, don't try this at home. But the outdoor stuff is really easy to get our students motivated. Where it's more difficult, again, this time of year, is the classroom stuff. All right? While we're spending 60, 70% of our time outside, we still have to do the lesson. We still have to set up the skills that we're going to learn. And with Caden, never a problem motivating him. His assignments are either turned on time, and if they're not on time, it's because he turned them in early. All right? When we have a quiz, if he doesn't get 100, I go and I double check the Scantron to make sure the answer key wasn't screwed up. He's that type of student. A lot of our work is done in squads. He's in squad 2. There's a total of 5 students in that squad. And they're really a little mini family together. They complement each other's strengths. They look out for each other. They help any weaknesses that they might have. They really help each other out. So if Caden goes on to become a firefighter, some city's going to be really lucky to have him as one of their firefighters. If he goes on to do something other than service-oriented, another company is going to be really lucky to him. His ability to work as a member of a team, how conscientious he is, he's going to do well no matter what he chooses to do. Do you want me to?
Let's hear from him, then I'll.
Okay.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
So I'm 16 years old. I was born here in Arizona. Sorry, I have a slight stutter sometimes. And I chose to come to this program because I was interested in becoming a firefighter.
So how has the program been for you? I mean, what would you tell your friends, to Mr. Fleetham's question, what would you tell your friends about EVIT?
It has been a really cool experience. I've had the most awesome teacher that I've ever had in my life, and he's pushed me to do as well as I possibly can.
That's outstanding. So the board members may have questions for you, but before I turn it over to them, the fire program has a sticker program in which individuals that go above and beyond, that are outside doing above and beyond, are awarded stickers. And I would like to give you a sticker on behalf of the administration for your hard work and your effort that you've demonstrated this year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Members of the board, do you have questions?
Caden, what's your favorite position on the truck? Where do you see yourself?
I would like the front passenger seat, but that's only for squad leaders, unfortunately. So normally it's in the back, and it's nice to be back there. It's really nice. It's a super roomy and spacey. Very nice air conditioning too.
All right.
Very good. And who did you bring with you today?
Oh, my mother.
Mom, congratulations.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Caden.
Congratulations, Caden.
And last but not least, our adult student, and for that, Miss Carly Cope from our behavioral health program.
Hi, so I'm Carly Cope. I'm a first-year teacher here. I actually took over halfway through the first semester, which was definitely unique coming in. But I actually had an awesome student who made the transition very easy for me. She was able to be almost like a little built-in teacher's assistant, which is awesome. I nominated Anna O'Brien, who was also in a very unique position, as she was the only adult student in a classroom full of high school students, juniors and seniors. She's actually 20 years old, surrounded by those 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. Our program definitely focuses on a lot of real-life experience and very mature adult experience. Anna was able to tap into that and assist other high school students in having a further understanding, not coming from the teacher's perspective, because we all know students sometimes they like to tune us out. So it was nice having Anna step in and kind of back up all of the information that was being told to everyone and just assist where she needed to step in. She also is fantastic at helping students that are a little bit less confident with their skills. She has been an excellent leader. She's not very outspoken, but she's definitely a silent leader in our classroom. It's been awesome to see her silently walk over to a student who's struggling emotionally or with classroom skills and be able to help. So she's awesome. She's not with us tonight. She's actually at work. She's very dedicated to work and puts her family first in assisting with finances and everything. She's just an awesome student all around, willing to go the extra mile, and she's a fantastic person. I'm sad that she's not here tonight, but she's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Wilson and board, thank you for the opportunity each month to celebrate our students with you. Appreciate that time.
Our second campus, our Power Campus, Mr. Casaro, the building principal, if you'll please come up and introduce your staff.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Good evening, board members and members of the community. So it's my pleasure to introduce the students of the month for our Power Campus. And first, we're going to start with our AM class. And I'm going to bring Mr. Chris Klein, one of our aviation instructors, up here to introduce his student.
Good evening. My name is Chris Klein. I'm one of the 3 aviation instructors over at the Power Campus up at the Basic Gateway Airport. I'm presenting Justin O'Reilly tonight. You know, I'm not a high school teacher by trade. I used to be a flight instructor. I'm currently an airline pilot, but got sidelined due to the pandemic. So teaching high school is an interesting challenge, to say the least. And whenever you teach schools, you run the spectrum with students. Some care more than others. Some apply themselves more than others. And Justin is one of those students that challenges me, and I'm excited to get up and come to work to teach him. He cares that much. I was joking with his father that you got to put this on the test. You got to put that. What about this question? 90 seconds into having that test. Well, this question doesn't make sense. This is backwards. He's grading my test. And it's motivating to have a student that cares that much, and I think that's going to serve him extremely well, because I know hundreds, if not thousands, of pilots that I've either taught or flown with, and they all share the same set of characteristics, and most importantly is motivation. It's a long road to becoming an airline pilot, which Justin expressed as his goal, and if your heart's not in it, you will not succeed. It's just that simple. And the fact that he tries so hard every single day, he's got it. And I think it's just a matter of time before we share the skies.
I'm not a public speaker, just gonna start with that. I am very honored to have been chosen for this, though. Any questions?
How did you find out about EVIT?
So, when I was in 10th grade, my guidance counselor had called me up from my school, and she's like, normally I talk to students because they're doing bad, but she's like, you are doing really good, actually. I'm like, okay, that's nice. And she was talking to me about like college and future stuff, and I mentioned I want to be a pilot, and she had mentioned EVIT to me, so that's how I found out about EVIT.
Very good. So what would you tell your friends, what do you tell your friends about EVIT, your experience here?
Oh, I love it at EVIT. It's so much better than my normal high school classes. I get to focus on my future career, and everyone there is fantastic. Yeah, it's just a great experience.
Very good.
To be able to have it.
Very good. Members of the board, questions? Who did you bring here with you tonight,
I
Justin?
brought my family, my dad, my mom, and my 2 little sisters.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to work with your son. Much appreciated. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So for our PM Student of the Month, I couldn't let Mr. Fisher be the only one to change things up a little bit. So our PM Student of the Month was not nominated by one of our teachers. She was nominated by our Student Council Advisor, Mr. Blair Howland. So Mr. Howland, you want to come up and introduce your Student of the Month?
Thank you, Principal Corso. Well, it's my pleasure to recognize Savannah Starks, who is in the PM Intro to Medical Assistant program at the Power Campus. Savannah's been a tremendous resource in supporting Student Council. In her elected role as Student Council Secretary, her attention to detail, her can-do attitude, her integrity, and creative input has been integral to the planning of multiple Power Campus initiatives. Savannah's a dedicated student with an outstanding work ethic. She works long hours after school and during the weekend, all while attending her homeschool and maintaining an above 90% GPA average with EVIT. She's very well liked by her peers and instructors. Her genuine positive attitude is a model to all students. Savannah would not expect or think she's deserving to be nominated for this recognition, and that is all the more reason I'm very happy to congratulate Savannah Starks as the EVIT Power Campus Student of the Month.
Hi, I'm Savannah Starks. I am 16 years old. I am in student council and also in the MA program, but switching to be a nurse in the NA program next year. I want to be a nurse practitioner, and so that's my goal. But yeah.
So how did you hear about EVIT?
I had a cousin that went there, and so I went and shadowed her one time, and I was like, I want to go here. This is so cool. She was in the Mrs. Price class at the East Campus, and I was like, I have to go here. Like, this is my goal, and now I'm here. So,
Very good. Good for you. Members of the board, questions?
So you said you wanted to be a nurse practitioner?
yes, sir.
Awesome. How did that happen? I mean, were you just walking down the street one day and went, whoa, how can I do this?
Ever since I was little, I wanted to work in healthcare. I always wanted to make a difference, and I do want to work in hospitals and with kids, so my goal is to just do that, and I love kids. I have 7 younger brothers, so that's the more of just going along with that.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Good luck with all that.
Thank you.
And did you bring anybody with you tonight?
I brought my dad, my grandma, and my little brother.
Well, Dad,
Sweet,
Grandma, little brother,
sweet.
thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Members of the board, that concludes our Student of the Month presentations. At this point, I don't know if we want to let those who are in attendance know that they can.
Yeah, you guys can leave if
Yeah, I
unless
mean,
you
you're
want
more
to
than
stick
welcome to
around and
stay.
hear all the rest.
You're more than welcome to stay. Wow, everybody's leaving. All right. I know. Wow.
It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna be leaving.
Kevin, no.
Members of the board, we were fortunate this year to have a lobbyist that has worked with us to help navigate the political landscape in an ever increasingly challenging legislative session. You had the pleasure of having dinner with Megan tonight. You've heard from her before, but she has the opportunity to present to you tonight in public, in person. I do have to tell you, though, that she has to teach a class. So she has about 10 minutes, and then she's got to get out to teach a class at ASU. So it is a pleasure, though, Megan. Thank you for taking the time to come out here, and I very much appreciate that.
Hi, members of the board. As Dr. Wilson said, my name is Megan Dellartino. I'm the owner of Public Policy Partners. I have with me Ellie Dion, which also works on EVIT issues down at the Capitol. We actually have two other government affairs specialists in the company that you may see from time to time, Rob Gallagher and Diane McAllister. So we are at the portion of session that I like to say goes really slow because they do just a little bit of issues on each day as they work through the budget process. And one of those items happened to be a priority for EVIT that I've been working on since the beginning of session, and that's the Anytime, Anywhere legislation. It is being considered a budget bill, and so it's right now being held in rules. However, in speaking to the House, the Senate, and the governor, they don't actually see any issues with it. They just hold anything that might in some way affect the budget process. So that's where that bill is. So what typically happens is you'll see the budget drop, and it will happen like that. As soon as the House, Senate, and governor agree, it just goes like that. And then after that, what we call bills that are in the box will start moving out of rules and go to the floor. And that typically happens within 1 to 3 days, that entire process. So that's kind of when you can expect your legislation to go. And then the other thing that we've been watching very carefully is the fourth-year funding. It is really to just ensure that if that goes through, that it doesn't harm the completer grant. And there is a member, Representative Kaiser, that Dr. Wilson got to meet a little bit ago, who actually has a huge interest in CTEDs. He wants to come and tour the campus. He is actually advocating for about, I think it's $1 million that is currently being discussed in the budget to allow, as a grant, to allow those that can come back and use that grant to get their certification. And so we were talking to him about the completer grant, and he has made that also a part of his budget ask as they move forward, that's not to be touched, and it's super important. He's the vice chair of appropriations, so very great person to have on your side, and somebody who wants to be the appropriations chair in the future. So we'll be hopefully bringing him, if Dr. Wilson lets us, through the campus for a tour. And we kind of like to do that with a lot of the new members as we get down. And then there's just a lot of other bills that are being discussed as it relates to education in the budget. There's several items that you may benefit from. One is gap funding, which essentially will set a floor for every LEA in the state to receive funding. As you know, ESSER dollars came in from the federal stimulus, but that was really targeted on poverty of the community. And so not every school got equal dollars. And so this plan is to allow some gap funding. It'll likely be up to about $2,800. EVIT happens to fall in the category that was less than that, so they would benefit from that proposal. And then in addition to it, we're also looking at the governor putting in some more money for the Enrollment Stabilization grant. which, as you recall, he put out in June, which was supposed to hold declining enrollment, or 98%, and the distance learner, and that just wasn't funded at the level it needed to be. Again, EVIT would benefit from that program. And then there's a lot of other things in there, just for, K-12 education, but maybe not EVIT specific. And with that, I'm happy to open it up and answer any questions you guys might have.
I don't have any. Do you guys have any questions?
I
Yes.
very much appreciate the work that you guys are doing. I can't tell you how nice it is when there's an issue that I literally have no idea what it is. I can reach out and you'll walk us through it. So I very much appreciate the partnership, and thank you for working with us this year. It's been very nice.
Thank you. We really love your campus, and I'm excited to go through it, and we're just excited to represent you down there. We really appreciate you choosing us. And
Good, great, thank you.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Megan.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks for what you do for us.
Item C on the agenda, as you know, we're fully into campus expansion at Power, with the target of having all of the work be done by the time we start school year 22-23. So it's starting to move along quickly. Joey from McCarthy's here tonight to kind of give you an update on the current project, and then obviously over the next couple meetings, we'll come back to you again and talk about the build out of the third floor as well as GMP 2.3. But Joey's here today just to give us an update on the current status of the project. Joey?
Members of the governing board, thanks for having me. It's getting very exciting out there. The Power campus is growing, and it's exciting to be a part of that. We just a reminder of kind of the footprint of what's going on out there. You can see the lower left is the 3 existing buildings, and then the new aviation building that I'm going to show you photos of here shortly is the kind of the big looking white B up in the top middle right there, and then we have the new parking structure, and then the vet science is down in the lower right. That'll be starting construction towards the end of the summer. So here's the floor plan of that aviation. You can see it's the big hangar area, and then the welding off to the left. You have classroom spaces. This is just the first floor. Again, it's a 3-story building. Just to give you a little refresher. This is what they call the skybox that we're looking at here. So as you come into the drive to the Power campus, this is what you see right now. So this building's going up very quickly. It's very exciting. Better look at that front entry room there. The masonry will be held back. There'll be a big glass piece that fills that corner. You can see the steel being erected. That kind of gives you an idea where the glass will be. So the steel erection's going in phases with the masonry. Masonry's going up full scale into the moving its way from the roadway going into the campus, moving to the, away from the campus. Thank you. Away from the campus. Okay. Point. We're going to go this direction. We're getting ready for a slab on grade. We've got the first slab on grades getting ready to be poured in those areas. You're looking at the stair tower here. You can see the variations in the colored block that's going in. It's a beautiful block that's going into these buildings. It matches the existing facade of the existing buildings. Integral color block with some banding in there. Very, very nice. Again, this is down through the classroom area. This will be the slab on grade area. There's exposed concrete down in there, some dark colored concrete. It'll look beautiful once it gets ground out. There's an aerial shot of again, this is the aviation. You see the big dirt area? Mm-hmm. That's the big hangar for the planes. So that'll be the hangar classroom area. The slab that you see that's ready to pour down here in the lower part of the screen is the mechanical room. So all of the mechanical equipment comes into that room. And then, again, moving on down through the rest of the classrooms and that space that you saw coming in the main road. We also have the underground retention. So part of the requirements for ASU was to make sure that we retained all of the stormwater system on the site, that none of that got shed off of the site. So the onus was put on us to retain that water, and this was what was designed. These big tubes are actually half domes. They get built up on layers of rock, and then these domes get down, and all the water gets channeled into these domes, and then they seep into dry wells and into the subsurface. This area is directly below the bus route where the buses will be staging. So you'll never see this. Once it gets buried, you'll never see it again.
So, Joe, is that for the whole project then, or is that just for the
Yes.
aviation? So it's the
Yeah,
whole.
so it's sized for the whole project. So this will take the water for the whole project. So again, the bus is off where these are staged is off to the right there, about middle of the screen, all the way over to the right. You can see the bus lanes over there. That's where that retention resides, right underneath that area. And there's an idea of the size of it, the magnitude of what that is. It's a very, very large. We call it the Grand Canyon. It's a big area. You can see it in relation to the houses there. You could fit half a dozen houses in there or more. So, but it's going well. That'll start getting backfilled. There's a shot of the entire project. You can see the aviation, the big retention area, and then up in the...
How big that retention is?
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah. Yeah, you look at it in scale to the parking structure.
Yeah.
You could almost put the parking structure in there.
Wow.
It's a big area. It's a big area. But, and then obviously the empty lot up in the upper right-hand corner is where the vet science will sit. So it's all backfilled now from all the aviation, or I'm sorry, the dig that was done in there for all the remnants of the Indian ruins and stuff, the archaeological dig. So it's all ready to go. So with that, everything else is going really well. We've got some summer work that we're going to take on this summer. Oh, sorry, hit the button. But to get everything in place to bring this building online. So we'll be going into the central plant, doing the upgrades in there this summer. We'll be going into the roadway and upsizing some of the chill water lines coming into the building. But we're very excited. We're gearing up for summer, and it's going to be a good time. Is there any questions?
So, Joey, I understand that some of our construction technology students are coming out for a tour
Yes,
as well, right?
Curtis reached out to me from our construction program here that he'd like to bring his students out on Friday. So we're going to give them a tour on Friday and walk them through the project. Very exciting.
I encourage any board members that haven't been there to do it. I know Ms. Boggs and I did it. It's an awesome site. It's really,
I have a hard hat.
Yeah.
she's got a hard hat now, so.
We have a hard hat for each of you, so come on out. You have your own hard hat, your own vest hanging in the conference room. So Kevin's come out and toured frequently. So it's been great. Yes? Do we have any more houses that we need to tear down, or is that all done? So we've torn down all the houses on the EVIT property.
Okay.
So there's no more to go unless Dr. Wilson negotiates more land.
Not gonna happen.
You never know.
You know, it's interesting, ASU actually reached out to us to see what the cost was, because they're looking at starting to demo all those houses and get them out of there.
Oh, really?
So they were curious of what we actually spent to do that, so they could start budgeting for what they needed.
That's a good sign, because I know one of the real challenges, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but one of the real challenges is we're the first real tenant on the master plan.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing and a curse. And some of the benefit is that we've been able to kind of craft a narrative that I think will help ASU as they continue to unpack what they're master planning, which is exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And I told ASU that we as EVIT would make them a really good deal on demoing houses.
Yes, we would.
See if we get some of that money back.
$500,000, that's the deal. Any other questions? Joey, thank you very much. I say this every time you come up here, but you guys have been such a great partner, and you in particular. You're always out anytime we need anything, whether it's for that campus or honestly, I've asked you to help in other areas, and you've been nothing but agreeable to do it. So I very much appreciate the partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And that concludes item number 3.
All right, moving on to number 4, and this is an action item to approve minutes for the regular board meeting held on April 12th. Do we
So
have
moved.
Okay, Rhonda, second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, let's call for a vote. Leadham.
Aye.
Doolin.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Hobson.
Aye.
Lane.
Aye.
Boggs is an aye. And that motion carries. Moving to item B, which is the approval for the special board meeting minutes from April 21st. Do I have
So
a motion?
moved.
Second.
Okay.
I have a question. There was, I think, in one of these minutes, it said, it had the wrong last name for Ms. Doolin.
Oh, do we need to correct Ms. Doolin's?
I liked
last
my
name?
new name.
You did? Okay, so that's been corrected. I just remember in the draft.
Okay.
I was trying to get it to open up.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, call for a vote. Fleedham?
Aye.
Doolin?
Aye.
Hart?
Aye.
Hobson?
Aye.
Lane?
Aye.
Boggs is an aye, and that motion carries also. Okay, moving on to 5, call to the public. Do we have anybody here?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Number 6, recommend approval for the certified and classified personnel requests.
I move that we approve the certified and classified personnel request as indicated.
I second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll call for a vote. Fleedham?
Aye.
Doolin?
Aye.
Hart?
Aye.
Hobson?
Aye.
Lane?
Aye.
And Boggs is an aye. So motion carries. Moving to number B, that's a letter B. The new hire of instructional staff contingent upon receipt of CTE's teaching certificates and fingerprint clearance cards.
I'll make the motion to approve the hire of the new staff.
I second.
Second. Do we have any discussion? All right, we are cruising. Let's call for a vote. Fleedham?
Aye.
Doolin?
Aye.
Hart?
Aye.
Hobson?
Aye.
Lane?
Aye.
Boggs is an aye. Let's see, item number 7, information and discussion, transportation issues during COVID with J.O. Combs. Dr. Wilson.
Members of the board, there was a question, I believe by Ms. Doolin raised about transportation during COVID, and we've been fortunate in that throughout, for the most part, the pandemic, EVIT obviously has stayed open, and for the most part, our partnering districts have transported. There was a window of time in which one of our partnering districts did not transport, and the question became why didn't they transport? So we dug a bit deeper, and it appears the rationale for them not transporting on those days was due to a direction given by Pinell County Health, in which they asked suggested nudged Combs School District to close its high school campus, and all activities, including the transportation, for I believe 5 days. And so the days in question of transportation from J.L. Combs that the students did not get transported here weren't because necessarily Combs made the decision. It was a result of the county recommending that Combs not transport. If you remember that we, during that period of time, we still accepted the Combs students. And so we had those students on our campus. And if students couldn't get on our campus because of transportation issues, then we worked with those individual students to make sure that they weren't penalized for not being able to be on our campus due to transportation. I don't know if that answers the question or the concern, but that's what we unpacked so far.
Dr. Wilson, was that the only school district that didn't transport?
Yes, it was. It was. Obviously, we had some glitches at the very beginning when we opened and others didn't, and so there was a day or two the different districts, but it wasn't because it was a result of choosing not to transport. It was a result of the logistics of their scheduling, which happens at times too in just traditional years in which there's glitches in their transportation schedule.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Doolin, if I remember right, was your original question on this have something to do with funding for that transportation? Whether we were paying for the transportation, whether it happened or not?
Yeah, it's part of the IGA agreement that they will transport and that they will make sure that students have the opportunity to attend the EVIT campus. So that was my question, is I wanted to have that information before we come up for reviewing the IGAs.
Thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, we will move on to item 8, action items to approve CTED satellite programs for Chandler School District. Do we want to do all of them, or should we do individually?
You can, whatever you would, I believe that we did them all the time before, but you can do whatever you choose to. If you want a motion to approve.
Okay,
I'd like to see them all together.
okay.
All right, I'll move that we approve all the pending satellite programs for Chandler, Gilbert, and is that Tempe?
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, excuse me, for those 3 districts all together for approval.
A second.
Okay, do we have any discussion on that?
Just as an informational item, board members, you may see programs from these sending districts trickle in through until the start of the school year. And the reason for that is that some of the programs that have been submitted aren't being included for approval the first time around, whether it be because of still trying to work out some of the logistics with the programs, whether it be staffing, whether it be not necessarily having a highly qualified teacher. So my point is you may be approving Gilbert as an example tonight, but you may see a couple programs from Gilbert Unified before the start of August. And it isn't that they're adding more programs, it's that we're still in the process of making sure that all the programs we bring to you are programs that meet the requirements, and some, not just, I mean, in particular, I'm not speaking specifically about one district, but that I didn't want you to be caught off guard if you saw from now till August programs coming in from these districts that you've already approved.
Okay. Any more discussion on that? Okay, let's call for a vote. Fleedham.
Aye.
Doolin.
Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Lane.
Aye.
Boggs is an aye. And we are now on number 9, staff reports, and Dr. Wilson.
Members of the governing board, I just have a couple quick items. Item A, as a reminder, we have our National Technical Honor Society inductions both this week and next week. This week is for our main campus, and next week is for Power. This week is tomorrow and Wednesday, and I believe next week for Power is Wednesday and Thursday. If you're interested, reach out to me and I'll get you the information. I believe there's programs begin at 5:30 and at 7 on both campuses, both nights. It's a really neat event. I mean, these are students that are excelling not only in their home school but here as well, and it's really a neat event I think that we have every single year. A completion ceremony, May 17th and 18th. As a reminder, we're doing 2. 17th is the Power Campus completion ceremony. The 18th is the main campus completion ceremony. Both are being held at Sloan Park. Currently, the Sloan Park has a mask requirement. And even though it's a school function, we're obligated to follow whatever protocols they have in place. We've asked them about the possibility of adjusting that, and they're going to work with us, but they haven't made that decision yet, so I just want you to be aware of that. But that is on the 17th and the 18th of May. It's a really neat event. Some of you have been to those before. Obviously, last year we didn't have one. What I think is so neat about it is that we ask our students, students that are completing can purchase a cap and gown from us if they'd like, but we really encourage them to use their home high school cap and gown for a couple reasons. One, it saves money. But 2, when you look out on the field and you see the different colors from all the different sending high schools, you get a visual of the footprint we have in connection to the East Valley. It's really a humbling experience. And so I look forward to seeing you there. Tammy, myself, and Cece will work to make sure that you get the logistics. There is a press box that we have for you. The stage is going to be a little bit limited this year, and so we'll have to work through some of that. But anyway, just to keep it on your radar, May 17th and 18th. Our enrollment, as of last Friday, is still trending about 6% above where we were the same time last year. And that's a good thing. Obviously, we don't know what the final enrollment's going to be, and there's some, without having been on the campuses as much as we would like to, it's hard to know. Are we getting our numbers sooner this year than we normally do? So the numbers is larger than it normally would be because we're getting the bulk of the numbers now, or are we going to trend this way going into the summer and into the fall? And if that's the case, that would be an amazing opportunity for us because, again, out of a pandemic, the hands-on school grows in its enrollment is kind of an interesting variable, but that would be, I think, the third year in a row that we've gained enrollment. We're going to come back to you in the next 3 meetings to have multiple conversations with McCarthy and with our architects to talk about the third floor shell build out on the aviation building that we touched on before, so that we can have a discussion about whether it makes sense to do that now, as well as coming back to talk more about the vet assistant building, so that we can be in a position to come back for GMP 2.3 sometime in June, so they can stay on calendar to complete the entire project by the start of the 22-23 school year. So lots of fun stuff happening the next month. And, this is a great time to be in education, because this is a time that you don't get to see a lot of if you're not in education, the celebrations. And then obviously going into summer, there's some decisions that have to be made by the governing board in relationship to expansion out at Power Campus. And that's it, unless there's questions for me. Not all at once.
Questions? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to number 10, calendar. Item A.
We'll have on our May 10th agenda a report out from Public Relations. We'll also have a discussion about, like I said, the third floor aviation shell space, and the beginning discussion about the vet assistant building.
May 10th.
As well as on May 10th, a discussion I'd like to start with the board in terms of how I would like to see us organize our school system, our agency, so that we can be more effective and efficient, I believe, as we begin the process of growing both our high school and our adult enrollment.
Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to add to the calendar for the agenda for next board meeting? Anything? Anybody? Class? Okay, let's move on to B, which is adjournments.
So moved.
Okay.
Wow.
Second?
All right, let's do a
Second.
roll call vote. How about that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you all very much. I know this is not
Thank you,
easy.
everybody.
Thank you.